The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC.
You're gonna be diva boots, slay work, cunty, sashay, better work, hunty. You're gonna be diva boots, slay, cunty, work, diva, miss, pussy, diva boots.
All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I am one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul, and I'm just here to say that while I understand that everyone is trying to find joy wherever they can, I am sick, both literally and figuratively. You can hear it. I am under the weather again, but I am literally sick of that damn movie, and I am sick of that beef between those two rappers. They both can go to hell. However, what I will say is this, which I did find funny. Someone said that a rap beef is nothing but two men writing poems to each other.
A love story.
Good.
Romeo and Juliet.
It's giving Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. Okay.
Hot sex on a platter,
Romeo
just to
and
get you wet.
Juliet.
Yes.
Come on, rhyme. Yes.
Do you know that song?
Not at all.
A little bit between your time, and a little bit before your time. So those of our listeners who are of a certain age, you probably know that song. But anyway, I had to drop it on you. But how are you doing?
Okay. Well, so when you say that movie, do you mean the movie that the one we just mentioned, or something else?
I'm just sick of everybody talking about it. I get the fandom. I get it. But I'm also over it.
That's fair. You know, okay. First of all, fam. It's Jordan or Joho, the other woman in this co-hosting duo who is confused at present. And like many people, I love the film. I hate the press interviews, but like also many people, I am taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and holding space with it. But have you seen the interview? Have you seen the interview where? No. Okay, so this interview, this person from Out Magazine, and one of the questions that they have, not a question, like a statement. They're like, you know, if you have a lot of reception from fans who are just taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with it. And Cynthia Erivo is like, I did not know that. I didn't know.
I think
and she's like tearing up, and she's like, it's what I wanted. I had no idea. And Ariana Grande, and I've seen the meme of her holding Cynthia's finger.
Yes.
So that's where it comes from, that interview. And then the interviewer is like, that's just what I've seen online, you know, and I am in queer media. And I'm like, girl. But it's just so much. It's so much that I'm like, wait, what? And I've never in my life have heard that phrase. I was like, holding space with lyrics? Like, and like, tell me, first of all, the thing that she said that, I said, obviously you're in queer media, because no straight person would ever say, so-and-so's holding space with the lyric. I said, girl, come on. But I will say, watching the film, I understand. I
get it too. I really do.
Like,
I get it.
And hearing Defying Gravity I'll say more later in my Yes Ma'am Pam, but like hearing Defying Gravity coming out of Cynthia Erivo's mouth is actually life changing. Like my brain chemistry is forever altered. Like, oh,
no, and I want to give credit where credit is due. This is not me taking a chance to shit on Cynthia Erivo or anybody who's connected to Wicked. Like, I think it's really cool that an Asian American individual is, you know, the director. I'm really excited that Cynthia is in. I'm really even more excited to find out. So if you have been following me, you know that I've been very vocal about how I thought it was bullshit that Cynthia made less money than Ariana Grande when their build is the same. Like, they're billed in the same slot. Like, they're like, Ariana Grande is a supporting actress, but also they were hired in their contract at the same level. And so I thought Cynthia got less money, but I guess Apple News as of today, so we record about
Universal put out a statement.
Yeah, Apple and Universal put out a statement being like, yo, before y'all try to come for us, let you know, everybody, the two of them, they were paid
equally.
They were paid equally. So I want to make sure, I'm really happy that came out.
There's no comment as to how much they were paid, but they were paid.
Oh, it's $15K. From what I've heard, it's 15.
Million.
Thousand. Sorry. Million. They both got 15
I was like,
million.
wait, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, girl,
this
is scraps. Okay.
Blame it on my sick
15
brain.
million?
Yes, it was 15 million. That is what I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but from what I understand, they were both paid equally, so that made me happy.
I know,
but also there's still just the fandom of it all has really, really soiled it for me. So
that's fair. That's fair. I feel
it is what it is, though. But anyway, all that to be said, I'm happy that people are happy. I'm happy that people have something to make them happy, considering what we've all been through in the month of November. So with that being said, we're going to jump into our first segment of the show, which makes us happy. This is where we give Miss Tisha Campbell her flowers in our Still Here segment. And this week, we're going to be talking a lot about blackness today, which I always love doing because this is a black ass show. But what I was going to say was, when I was kind of like, when we were workshopping this, the first part of the conversation we wanted to have was this idea of black sayings that live in your head rent free. And the reason why this came up was, I don't know if you saw in my Instagram, I had reposted that video from the pandemic. There is this black teacher and she is teaching, and there's like 3 other little black kids in it. And somebody had a naked mama in one of they in one of the boxes. She was like, Tavion, who that back there naked? And she was like, and in the process of saying that, she was like, Lord Jesus. And so I said, I wanted to have a quick key about all of my favorite black sayings and black things that people say. So I will start off by saying that this is not on the flow, but Lord Jesus is one of my favorite black ass sayings, because whenever somebody says Lord Jesus, you already know what it means. You don't even need full context. When someone just says Lord Jesus, you know some shit that went down. Things have gone left. Somebody has done something they're not supposed to do, and it just tickles me. Some other black sayings. So I just want to also give credit to my mom. We all know we love Edwina around here. We love our black mamas around here. We love our mamas around here. A lot of these sayings come from my mom. One of my other favorite ones, I love to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. Did your mom or anybody in your family ever say that to you, Joe?
No. Not to me. I've heard it a few times. Like, no one ever said it to me. Okay. But I was spanked a lot as a kid, so a hard head actually made a hard behind, because my ass is solid.
Quite soft from all the ass whippings.
I was spanked so many times. Ain't no soft behind here.
Yeah,
and my head's still hard
too, especially from my grandfather, because I used to love to talk back. And so Grandpa Paul, he did not have it, and I was always getting my ass whooped as a kid. My mom's other favorite one, sometimes the baby gotta suffer with the mama.
Yes, that one I heard a lot. And I would say, like, but why? Why's mom gotta suffer? Why's the baby gotta suffer? Like, why are we gonna suffer?
Because the mama made a bad decision. And so that just makes me happy when people say, well, sometimes the baby gotta suffer with the mama. Damn. I'm like, facts. Facts have been said. Sometimes that baby gotta suffer too. Because this is not my problem. That's just not my problem. So the other ones, I'm gonna go ahead before I get into the queer-ish black ones. Well, you know what? I might as well just jump into it. T, you'll hear me say that a lot. T is my favorite. I'm gonna always say T. Boots is also one we want to. I definitely want to give an homage to Boots. Oh no, she better don't. I know RuPaul coined it, but I still say it a lot, especially when people are doing stuff that's out of pocket. Oh no, she better don't. She doesn't have the range is something I will yell out quite often, especially when somebody thinks they got it and they don't. And then my other favorite, as I'm talking, I'm hearing myself.
I chuckled at this one. I was like,
yeah, raggedy. Raggedy is so another favorite word of mine.
It's just so funny, raggedy.
It's just, but it explains so much. The other last thing I was going to say is shout out to Vine, because a lot of these statements and things have been made popular because of Vine, and Vine was just such a fun time to be alive. If you miss Vine, I'm sorry.
I miss Vine.
But Vine definitely gave a lot of us the lexicon that we have. What about you, sis?
So I grew up a lot with I'm not one of your little friends, and I was like, oh, and I was just like, first of all, my friends are not little. Relax. Like, I'm not one of your little friends. Okay, but you're my friend. Like, here you are, my friend. Like, don't and both of my parents would say that, and I'd be like, first of all, my friends are not little. Second of all, you always talk about how you want to be my friend. Don't be acting like you are my friend. Okay. I really loved. Okay, so anytime I feel like anytime Black folks like come for somebody, but like they'll just keep like throwing words. So like like I was watching House of Villains last season, and there's a moment where Tanisha was like, "You're washed, cooked, dusted," and I just love that. Keep going. I was like, "Go on, girl, dusted, mummified, purified, satanized." He says, "Come on, thesaurus, come on, thesaurus." Like that's what I live. Which I will also say. Come on, blank. Whenever someone Black and queer is like, come on, blank. I live. Because it can be good or bad, and you don't know what you're going to get. It can be like, come on, wig. Or it can be like, come on, wig. Like, it's just, it means so different. It's about how you say it.
Yes, and we need to really talk about how certain things can be said. There's a whole conversation to be had around when people say bitch, like bitch. How bitch is like, can be universal for everything. It could be a good thing, it could be a terrible thing, but I definitely live for the
and
come
people
on
don't
wig.
know because they don't have the range.
Yeah,
they don't have so they don't know tea.
They don't have the range. Yes.
I also love when someone's like, you got the wrong one, because it leaves me a question. One, who's the right one then? Someone said you got the wrong one, but who is it? Because it's not gonna be me. And I'm like, okay, but wait, like, where is the right one? Won't he do it? I love when someone says, "Won't he do it?" Because it also is like, it'd be like the most like outlandish shit. Like, I have my friends legit like I've seen a friend like. This is so bad to say. I hope they never hear this story.
Terrible.
I have a friend who, bless their soul, like had like a random like orgy one night. Them and another friend, and that the other friend had gotten a series of STIs. And this friend had not, and this friend was like, "Won't he do it?" And I was like,
"No, that's the wrong context."
No, but
that's the wrong context.
But also, I was like, every day he kept them safe. He kept them safe. Listen, he said, "Thou shall prosper. I shall not give you any STIs today." And I was like, "Will he do it?" So I just live because will he do it? Can leave me for his big thing? Really, that part for big things, for small things, for good things. I love it. Will he do it? I love when someone says, "Are you a friend of Dorothy?" Because I feel like it's making its rounds back now, and it's something that I did not grow up with. And I've heard like adults say it, but now people are saying it again, and it makes me laugh so much because like I know that was like a big thing, like especially like Stonewall era, and so I just imagine like a bunch.
But who the fuck is Dorothy?
No,
like
real?
From the Oz?
Yeah,
from Wizard of Oz?
Yes, Wizard of Oz, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I never knew that.
No, it was like, so are you friend Dorothy from Wizard of Oz? Which I also am like, okay, but like, why? Like, it's because of Judy Garland? Is it because like the Yellow Brick Road? Like, I mean, like, I know that Wizard of Oz was written by a gay man or something, but I was like, I don't think, like, I just would never have thought, are you a friend of Dorothy's? Also because someone asked me if I'm a friend of Dorothy. I'm like, who the fuck is Dorothy? And I'm like, oh,
like, why?
My bad, yes. Yes.
Why did I just put in our show flow that's going to be the title of the
episode.
Who the fuck
the fuck is Dorothy? Stop.
I still don't know who the fuck she is.
Okay, my last few, I love when someone says "mind you" because one, they aren't minding, but also I love saying "mind you" during a story. Like I'm like blah, 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 and mind you, I was doing this. And I'm like, why? But why am I minding them? They aren't minding me. Why am I like? I know that like the person hearing the story is like, but why am I being minded? I'm just here to listen, girl. Auntie, I feel like auntie is like I feel like Black folks really carried auntie in a way that other cultures just other people have not.
I will say, not to cut you off, second to Filipinos.
No, I was literally about to say save for Filipinos. Like those are the two ones where auntie is like auntie's a lot. And I just love the like it's just like we made auntie fun. Like us Filipinos made auntie fun. Like we may people want to be aunties because of this. Like, and that is everything.
So real.
My last phrase, and really this is just me having a moment of my triggering phrase. If someone Black ever says I'm down the street,
Lying.
I know.
Uh-huh.
They are never down the street.
Lying.
And it is, to this day, it triggers me because every day, like my dad, growing up, my dad, bless his soul, may he rest in peace, he would be gone a lot. Like 4 days out of the week, he'd be gone. And he would call and be like, I'm down the street at like 7 p.m. And it'll be midnight. He's still not home yet. And he would come home, and my mom would be like, "Wow, we must live down a long ass street for you, for you not be here on time." And like, and so when someone sits down the street, I'm really like taken aback, like, "Oh my God, they're lying to me. They're never down the street."
Yeah, no, that's very much a very black ass phrase. When I have friends be like, "Oh, I just left the house." No, you didn't.
No, you did not. No, you did not. I'm in the car right now. No, you did not. Or when I know one thing, I'll give my dad this. I'll give my dad this because there are so many black folks who will be like, I just got on the door. Let me get settled, and I'll call you right back." And you know full well this girl ain't never call you back. You won't doctor.
If I tell somebody I'm gonna call you back, I'm not calling you back.
But my dad legit would be like, "No, okay, well, I'm gonna go now, bye." And I would be like, "You're so rude."
Yes.
But I gotta give him the credit, being like, he was so bold. He said,
to the point.
"Okay, I gotta go now, bye." I'm like,
I got shit to do. Ain't nobody trying to stand around and be on the phone.
I'm trying to be on a phone call with you for more than 20 minutes. He said, literally, if there is silence, okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. I was
Time to go.
Okay, that's how it is.
I love it. All right, y'all. So with that being said, now in terms of we got to go. Now that y'all have gotten all those free lessons in the library, we have to go pay some bills so we can renew our library cards. Yes, honey, y'all better get y'all library cards because they about to take them away. But when we come back, we are going to jump into this week's category for the dolls. We'll be back in a sec.
Okay, fam, we are black, and today's main category is inspired by a moment that transpired between the incomparable Keke Palmer and the amazing Yvette Nicole Brown. Yes, a beautiful moment of black telepathy, where it was, I don't know what game show it was, but it was some game show, and they had to guess the word off of one clue. Mm-hmm. And Keke said, with all the knowledge of the ancestors past, looked at Yvette, and she said, "Rose." And everyone was like, well, she guessed. And Yvette was like, now see... And Keke was just like, "Rose." Rose. Yes. And after much deliberation within herself, Yvette was like, "I'm going to get it wrong. Titanic." And it was, in fact, Titanic. Won't he do it every day? And so because we know it's holiday time, we want to keep today's show light and really just dive into some stories around black telepathy that we've had. So I want to start the conversation today by asking John, when's the first time you've experienced black telepathy?
Yeah, so I have mentioned this in so many accords, especially too, like when you're walking down the street and you see black people, I always tell people the black nod is a thing. You're supposed to acknowledge other black people, but what we don't talk enough about is black telepathy. And one of the moments that I had is something that lives in my spirit for years. And even my partner at one moment looked at me and was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Black telepathy." So long story short, me and my partner were on a cruise. And, for many cruises, they do excursions. And so at this in particular time we were on our cruise, we went on an excursion and we were in Mexico. And we were on a bus. And we were on a bus with a whole bunch of people, but specifically with this family who had a grandmother who just, she didn't seem well getting on the bus, and she wasn't well the entire time of us getting to our location, and she wasn't well around the time we needed to come back. So basically, in so many words, grandma got lost. And folks were looking for grandma, and there was this whole to-do, and everybody was really frustrated. And I kid you not, on the bus, it was like me, and then there was like a row of people, and then there was another black woman and her best friend. They were sitting like towards the front. And so in the midst of us trying to find grandma and, the person who was doing this trip getting all flustered and really stressed out about trying to find the grandmother, because again, they're not supposed to lose people when they do these tours, right? And then also we were late for the boat. We were late to get back on the boat. And technically when you take a tour with an excursion company, they can't leave you, but they can. And so I think that this person was really worried that the boat was going to leave us all. But all of that to say, there was this whole to-do, and basically in the midst of finding the grandmother gets back on the bus, and she turns around, she sits down, and everybody's because again, it was hot. Everybody was irritated. It took us about 2.5 hours to find Grandma.
Goddamn, Grandma.
When we all got settled, the black lady who was sitting in front of me, she turned and she looked at me, and we had like a good 5-minute conversation of her looking at me going, this is some bullshit. And me looking at her and be like, it sure is. And then the look became, if this would have been anybody else, I could have guaranteed you they would have left. And I'm looking at her like, sure would have. And us just having this back and forth. We didn't say one word to each other, but we looked at each other for a good solid 3 to 4. I kid you not, it felt like at least 5 minutes of us going back and forth having this conversation about how just ridiculous both the family and the children and the grandma were acting. And that was the first time for me where I was just like, wow, that's crazy, because black people can have conversations with each other and like we don't even really need to know each other, but we know what's going on in our heads. Like that literally happened to me. But what about you? Have you had any ever experiences around black telepathy?
Yes. See, now this is a good question because I think the first time I experienced this when I was in high school, because I had this teacher who, like, everyone knew she was just a bitch, and like she was a racist, but she would call her racist like out loud, but she was racist. She was homophobic. She was a good Christian woman, and there's one time like we had a sub, and in class, like in my high school, so I was bullied a lot in elementary school and middle school. In high school, it was kind of on and off. But high school, like I had a big personality, so a lot of people did like me in high school more than before. But there were some kids who would pick on me because of my stutter, or because I was a kid who loved to read aloud in class. And so one day, so we had a sub, and this kid kept interrupting, but kept saying it was me, in class, and so that night, the teacher had called my parents and was like, Jordan was being, which I was like, this is a snitch ass bitch, Jordan was being disruptive in class today, blah 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 blah. And so my parents were so hot with me. My mom was like, I don't believe it, because like that just didn't sound like something you do. But my dad was like, well, she called, so it must have been true. And at that point, he was like, he'd already had his two strokes, so he could no longer beat me, but he wanted to. And I was like, Negro, sit down. Like, let me get to the bottom of this, and let me be Nancy Drew. And so the next day in class, I had went up to her and I was like, hi, Miss Blank. You called my parents last night. I want you to know that actually is not what happened. I wasn't the one speaking. And she was like, well, the sub told me that it was you. And I believe it was you because you have a bright personality in class. So I believe it was you. And like my school was pretty diverse. So there was like, I was like a good, like a quarter of us were black folks. But I remember like looking at this girl in my class who was my friend, and I looked to the side and was like, and in that moment I was like, do you believe this? And I could see her face, and she was like, girl, here we go again. Yeah, right. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, help me, bitch. And she was like, she looked at me, rolled her eyes, sighed, and she said, Miss So-and-so, I can tell you it was not Jordan, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked at her like, thank you so much, girl. And she was like, don't ask me again. And I was like, well, and I remember someone, because I was there early, but there's one person who was always there early. And I remember like her looking between us and being like, what just happened? And and we're like, you don't have to know, girl. But I will say sometimes I feel like I'm Charles Xavier. Like I feel like I'm an X-Man, and maybe because I'm mixed, but like I feel like I can do that with almost any ethnicity. Like I have it often with like many people. Like I remember recently I was out for my birthday, and every time my friend came up to hug me, I gave her this look like, bitch, are you leaving? And every time without missing a beat, like she gonna hug me and she'd be like, I'm not leaving. And I'd be like, okay. But it was like my face was like, are you leaving, bitch? Yeah. But and she just knew every time she was like, I'm not leaving. And I was like, okay. But I feel in my most power in the club. In the club, because there's nothing feels more powerful than when you are with your group of girls at a straight club. It only happens at a straight club. You know, girls at a straight club, and some guys dancing on your friend, and she looks at you, right, and the look in her face is like, is like, do I keep doing this or not?
Right,
is he cute? Right. And in your eyes, because you can't say anything, in your eyes, you have to look at her and be like, yes, he's cute, or no, he's not cute. Go get away, or yes,
Run away,
stay.
girl.
Or
Run away.
or like, do you need help, or are you good? Like the amount of wordplay you gotta do with your eyes is where I feel in my most power. So I've many times been that person who like I'm dancing with my friends, and then a guy will come up behind the girl, and she'll look first like, and I'll be like,
cute or not? Yeah, like,
and she'll be like, and I'll be like,
yeah,
or I'll be like,
how you doing? Yeah.
And she'll be like, okay.
Okay, we can keep dancing, and that's real. I think so it's funny because also what kind of sparked this when I was like putting this together and I was trying to find more info on it to see if it really was a thing, right? Because I'm a true believer. I've talked in episodes, through and through. We've had conversations about epigenetics, and we've had conversations about stuff that that has channeled and followed us from slavery and things. And so I was like, I wonder if that really is a thing. And I know Key and Peele had done something, and they called it The Shining in the episode. And they laughed at it, but I'm thinking, to myself that I think Black telepathy is just kind of a way for Black people to kind of like talk to one another without really having to have everybody in our business. And it's not, I think it's more cultural than anything. I mean, I think we collectively mentally talk with a lot of people without saying words. I mean, I know I've been in stores where I've looked at, people in line being like, this is some shit. And they'll turn around and yeah, girl, this line is long and there are not enough people. Like, so we have that. But I think there are moments where you have like true Black connections with other Black people.
Like it's a certain vernacular and a certain conversation. Like
yeah.
Like with non-Black folks, it's like we give each other a few words, but Black folks, it's a whole conversation.
Full-on conversation. Because I know I've been in situations where I've looked at Black people and they've been like, "Girl, you better get your ass up out of here," and it's been like a shit's about to go left. Or, I've been in situations where people have, seen folks come in and be like, I don't trust that nigga. And it'd be like, oh, really, girl? Tell me more. And literally, we're not talking, but they're like, girl, they on something else. And you'd be like, oh, wow, really? And it'd be in this whole thing of like this person's trying to warn you about this other person who just entered the spaces. So I'm just a true believer that, I know some people may say I'm nuts, but I truly believe that Black telepathy.
No, I agree. I know I've mentioned this scene before on the show, but on the show, and I love this scene from Harlem on Amazon Prime because the character is Angie. She starts running, and she's running to charge her phone. Like she's just running to charge her phone, but every Black person that she passes literally drops what they're doing. Like there's like a woman with her baby strapped to her chest starts running. A woman who goes to her taxi, then leaves her taxi. A waiter throws his dishes that he's serving on the ground. Like it gets me every time. And so like I haven't had that experience, but like I've had the experience of like when I like if I go to a restaurant and I'm like, how is it? And the host would be like,
right,
and I'd be like, let me go somewhere else instead. Or I go to a club and I'll walk in like, oh, like the music seems, and the person will be like, no, but like, maybe this is not the club for me, And there are times where like we give each other the like safety check eyebrow raise, like the, and you're like, oh no, no. How is that? Would you recommend? Are you?
You know where that happens a lot for me. So we've gone here before, but that soul food place in downtown LA, I forget the name of it. Fixins.
Oh yeah,
I've gone to Fixins a few times, and it's funny because I have gone to order stuff off the menu, and I've had the server, especially if they're a Black server, will come up to me and I'll be like, so what are your thoughts on that? And they'll just kind of be quiet and they'll give me that look and I'm like, okay, so that means I need to order something else. Got it. But just that interaction in itself is always so funny to me because it's like, oh, I feel like only Black people really do that to one another.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was going to say, I know we spent some time trying to look into this and we've looked it up and we figured it. And I'll say that there is no real scientific evidence behind this. And so I want to make it very clear that we're not saying that this is a true thing. There are people who believe that telepathy does exist and that we as people, we just haven't tapped into it with our minds. what I have been reading up on, or what I think is really interesting, it's called racial uniqueness. And what it is that it has a lot to do with this notion of intuition. And folks who have kind of coined this term, racial uniqueness, it's around this idea that because we are oppressed, because we are collectively kind of navigating the same systems of oppression, and we are treated the same way in the world in a lot of ways, Black people are seriously more in tune with their minds and their thought patterns. And so, you know, I've seen people post on social media where they've said we all collectively couldn't have had the same life growing up. But in a lot of our experiences, they really are the same. Like we all collectively have eaten the same thing. Our parents have bought the same thing. Our parents have cooked the same. There's a lot of that. And I think a lot of that when we're talking about us being able to kind of quote unquote, you know, the Shining and the Black telepathy and all of that, it's just our sharing of a racial uniqueness, a racial experience that's unique, but it's the same because of who we are. It's almost as if we're on the same wavelength, if we're not self-hating or
there's actually a radio frequency that we're all tuned into. It's like
basically, yeah,
like A.M. E-40 is gonna be the
A.M. E-40. Now I got to change the title of this episode. A.M. E-40 is so good. That is so fucking good. A.M. E-40. I hate you. I hate you so much, but that is so good.
Listen, I'm just saying it's a high frequency. Like
yes, it really is. It really is. I hate you, but I love you at the same time. Yeah. So I guess kind of just wrap this all up. In kind of a fun way to end this by saying, Black people, use your Black telepathy, aka shining more. I think it's important, especially now since we're getting ready to go into kind of uncharted territory again, where we don't really know what life is going to throw at us. You know, take the moments, have those quick, you know, interactions with Black people. I've made it a point to say hello to Black people more and to try to let Black people know that I am a safe Black person for them. And I would also like to say too, like, if y'all have ever had any shining moments, Black telepathy moments, we on the show would love to get into those. We'd love to hear them from you. We would love to hear experiences where you've had full-on conversations with Black people without fully having conversations, and what that looked like and what brought that up. So, if you send that to us via email, we'll share it in our next episode. But yeah, this was fun, and thanks for humoring me on this conversation, Joho.
I love the conversation so much because it's been that I feel like I live every day as well. So thank you.
Yes.
Oh, hold on, I got something. Okay, y'all.
It's a Raven moment.
Y'all may not have heard it or seen it, but John just mentally told me that we got to take another break. So when we come back, we're going to jump into a new segment that we ain't done for a bit. More in just a sec.
All right, and we are Black and fat. So this week, I wanted to know, speaking of fat, I know, so like I said, y'all know this episode will come out about a week after Thanksgiving, but my God, I cannot wait to eat the house down boots. I know it's so fat of me, but I'm going to pick up my food tomorrow, and I'm so excited.
Come on, big back talks. Yes.
Yes. Reclaiming the big back. We need to talk more about that too, how we've reclaimed the big back. In 2025, how are we reclaiming the big back? But with this being said, this week, I didn't want to throw the show flow off totally. I wanted to make a note that for this week's episode, we're going to jump into Go Love Yourself. And being that we have some odd 30 days left, I don't know the exact number of days, how many days we have left in the year. I know a lot of folks start to feel a lot of guilt about the things that they said they were going to do for the year that they haven't really fully gotten to. And I know on other podcasts, folks have talked about like, how are you ending your year strong and how are you doing all of this? And I was just kind of like, fuck it. Like, I really wanted to ask if there was anything that you're giving yourself flack for, either for this month or for this year. And just kind of wanted to think about how, you know, with everything going on, kind of, again, we love to do check-ins here. Really just kind of thinking about how you're kind of coming into 2025, considering everything that's been going on. I know for myself, I have been extremely busy. I've said that I felt like this year has been the year that I've been the sickest the most. And I know a lot of it is because of how much work I've been doing and how much rest I'm not doing. And I really want to kind of set that up for 2025. I really want to set up a way for myself to be more accountable for the rest that I need to take. But I was going to say, I know that mentally, and again, I haven't really said this out loud, I've been beating myself up for how much I haven't been riding my Peloton this year. And what I will say is, like, last year, I pretty much every single month, like, I at least did a solid 4 to 5 weeks of me just, riding, whether it be 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And this year, it's been a lot of missing. And a lot of the missing has been because I've been sick. But I also will say, too, like, my schedule is just so packed, and it has been really hard for me to get on the bike. I'll look up, and it's like 6:30. Or I'll look up, and it's close to 7. Jonathan's home. It's time to eat. It's time to get ready for the next day. And so, I told myself next year, I really want to try to be kind to myself about my fitness, but also at the same time, just trying to be better to my body, because I know this year I pushed her. Like, I really pushed my body this year, and I'm hoping next year that I can be more kind to her. So what about you, love?
Same. I've been hard on my body a lot this year. One, because it changed and it got bigger in a way that I wasn't expecting, and like definitely things hurt more. Like I have this like heel pain that I've been having for like months. That, and I know that part of the remedy is that I like move it more, stretch it more, and like I haven't gotten there's a point in time like a year and a half ago where I was serious about a great sleep schedule. Serious about stretching my body. For example, like one thing that I think about a lot is like this, like last year, I could bend backwards, and I've always been really flexible, and this year I cannot. Like, I bend halfway, and I'm like, oh girl, my back gonna break, and so I'm like, okay, so I'm like, Jordan, like you are not helping your body the way that you used to, and I've been hard on it, and as I saw it change, I've been really just like talking down to myself a lot, and then I'll be like, Jordan, like talking down to yourself won't help you, and it won't make you feel better in yourself. But it's just where my mind has went. But also, to your point, like I've been busier than ever this year. It's like doing all the things I couldn't. It's like, and I still think it's all the things I didn't do during the first 2.5, 3 years of the pandemic. Like there's so many things that I did not do, so I've been doing so much more, and I've been like drinking a lot more, going out, like it's just been a lot. And but it's also been a year where I've also had a lot of change. Like I started taking Lexapro. I changed my style. I've been changing my hair quite a bit. Like I've been changing myself too. And so it's like I'm trying to remind myself that a life is always changing around you, and I'm like changing in certain ways, and I can't like punish myself for not changing in other ways when I'm trying to give more attention, energy to changing into this way. So that's been an interesting thing for me. But yeah, I think like I can definitely be kinder to myself in this next year, especially knowing that like this next year, like Jordan, shift things in your body for the very least, because you know that you might have to fight more this next year. Like, look, you might have to fight more this. You might have to get into some squabbles. Okay, like you may have to be in some spaces that's gonna make you feel unsafe. So like let's prepare for battle, girl. Let's get our mind sharper. Let's actually get to bed on time and get some good sleep, because you need some good rest for the days in which you can't sleep because hoes is out here doing fuck shit. Like, it's just, I know this year's gonna be a different year and a hard year for many folks. And I also, this year I came in this year thinking like I can no longer let stress affect me, and this past season it has been. Right. And so I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what a balance actually is, what a balance actually looks like, to say, I will only do this much, and then the rest of it will be like, have a firm boundary. Like, how do I enter this year with firm boundaries of my energy, time, how I show up in the space that I have in myself, because that shit will kill a girl. And I am not trying to die. I am trying to live a long, beautiful life. So I need to focus more on that. But
I feel you, honey. Yeah. I really do. And I think this, I know I'm probably the worst person to say it, but I think we've got to figure out how, considering I am sick right now, and, I know people are like, well, you're sick and you're on the mic. How are you preaching a message of taking care of yourself? But it's like, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, this is just also like, even for us, we're going dark. We have 2 or 3 episodes in December, and then for most of December and half of January, we're dark, and so, kind of just letting listeners know that we are going to be taking a break, but it's like, we've got to do what we've got to do to take care of ourselves, because after January 20th, who knows what we're going to be up against. And we've already been up against it. We've already been up against it. And so I definitely do want to make sure that I mention that. I don't want to be I'd be remiss if I didn't say, if I treated it as if we weren't already going through hell in, what we're dealing with now. But I definitely will say that I think we're headed for more tumultuous reigns. And, we got to do what we can to protect ourselves, because the right ain't giving up, and neither am I.
Girl.
So,
and I'll just say, like, I don't know about you, but this show to me is self-care. Like, this show is self-care. So when if someone's like, oh, John, like, you're sick, you're on the mic. Girl, John's on the mic in their own house. Like, in their own house. Like, where you aren't paying the bills for them. But, like, this show to me is self-care. Like, I would come if I was sick, knowing that, like, I'm at my own house. I'm not around other people. And also, like a space to, like, just talk some shit, talk our shit and process is also a helpful space as well too.
Yeah. And also, just, again, I get so much joy out of giving folks something to listen to each week, where it's like, I have someone who's been messaging me and she's like, oh my God, every podcast you've done this in the last 4 to 5 weeks has been what's been getting me through. And it's like, cool. I'm glad that my, the little tidbits of whatever I can share can be a blessing to you, especially in a time when, we're all kind of trying to find joy wherever we can find it. So, yes, but also we got to take care of ourselves. And so with that being said, we're going to take one more break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into our Yes Ma'am and our No Ma'am Pam more in a bit. All right, y'all. So this week, we are going to jump into our Yes Ma'am and our No Ma'am Pams, and mine are pretty simple. I'm not gonna. Usually, I'd be ranting and raving and ready to go off on people, but as y'all know, I don't really have the energy to be doing all that. So I just said, let me just get straight to the point, honey. So I definitely wanted to shout out Sarah McBride, and any Black, trans, anybody who is dealing with politics in whatever capacity, whether it be in Congress, whether it be in the White House, whatever it be. Just to be in politics right now is a sheer shit show, and my heart goes out to anybody who's having to hold themselves up. Talk about wanting to give up and throw in the towel and being tired and needing rest. I am sure there's so many Black and trans people who are on the ground doing some really big stuff and really important stuff, and they probably are very, very discouraged right now. And so I just wanted to say, like, I'm aware of what's happening to Sarah McBride. I'm aware of what's happening to a lot of trans women. And I just wanted to make sure that folks that listen to the show know that, we're sending you love and encouragement, and reminding you that, your ancestors are what makes you strong. And that you have a whole community of people over here who love you and support you. So wanted to say that. On the other end of that, my No Man Pam this week is Walmart. So I'll be clear in saying I've been fuck Walmart forever. I've never been a fan of Walmart. There have been times in my life where I had to shop at Walmart because that's all I could afford. And now that I have a little bit of, coinage, I like to tell people I'm not rich. I just don't have kids. But because I can add a little bit of extra cheese to my burger in these times, I choose to go. I choose to drive 15 minutes out of my way to go to Target. And I'm not gonna say they're even better, because Target they've done some really fucked up shit in the last couple of years too. But Walmart has very vocally said that they're going after trans people, and that they're reversing a lot of their DEI stuff. And it's just gonna be fuck Walmart forever over here. They never can get they'll never see an intentional dollar out of me. I just want to make it very clear that you'll never see me remote start my car, get in the car and drive to Walmart. That'll never happen. So I just wanted to say, fuck them, and thank you for telling us who you've been. We've already known. It's nice to see people validate who they are. So especially companies. I'm very happy when companies tell us flatly, outrightly, like, we don't give a fuck about you, because it makes it easier for me to say, well, then let me take my money somewhere else. So yep, that's all I got. What about you, sis?
Damn. So I didn't know what happened. Walmart. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, of course, we're at DEI. Everyone's talking about DEI. Y'all never care about this in the first place. Y'all never care about us. Just say y'all don't care about us in the first place. Like, right, y'all really tried so many things, and it's like everyone Y'all all launched GI work on the 2020, and then you said, you know what? Actually, it's fine. I think we're cool.
They literally
now.
said, "Fuck them niggas."
It is literally giving like, oh, Trump's back. Thank God.
Yep.
We can just call this a good day now. Fuck all you hoes. My Yes Man Pam. I'm sorry to say it, but it's gonna be a yes to Wicked. Like, it was a fantastic film. Cynthia Erivo really ate that role up.
And did.
And did. Ariana Grande ate the role up and did. Jonathan Bailey ate the role up and did. Like it was just such a fantastical movie. Now I have to say, hearing these songs with her singing added a whole different layer to it. Like, I think it's interesting because people are like, I feel so seen with Wicked. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, calm down. Like people, everyone's
not you being like, yeah, girl, but shut up.
Everyone's so seen by it, and I get why. Yeah. Why it goes to show that like many historical things, right? Like many historical in a sense of like many cultural and impactful things that you see can be changed. Like and I will say, it's so interesting. Y'all were so mad about there being a black Ariel, but not one word about being a black Alphaba. Because she was green already. Girl, y'all, come on. And it shows so that so much of this work can be adapted. And I wish, and that there are queer folks who feel seen by the show, Jewish folks, and I get all those things. But there's something about about a black woman being in this role.
Yeah.
And there have been black Alphabas already, but in a film version, because there's this line in Defying Gravity where Glinda is like, "You can have all you ever wanted," and then Alphaba's like, "I know, but I don't want it," and it's so different because like in the original musical, right? Like you hear Idina Menzel sing that, or who insert white person here often,
right?
Because it's often a white role in the U.S. and like you hear her say like, "Yes, I know, I can have all I ever wanted," and it's meaningful, but you're also like, "Okay, white girl." But like Cynthia Erivo, like telling a black woman you can have all you ever wanted, and then she says like, "I know, but I don't want it, and I can't want it anymore because it's not good," is just like so powerful. Because then like, what a testament to knowing your own power and saying, "I would sooner buy Defying Gravity." Like that is almost like, oh, like and now I can't, like now I'm excited for all the young black Alphabas I'm going to see in Halloween next year, or like the young black girls going to musical theater. Because musical theater to me has always been a space like that truly can be inclusive of all people, but it's often white dominated and like held barrier by white folks. So like knowing that there are going to be more like black theater folks who might go to theater now because of this is just really, really special. So yes, ma'am, to that. No Man Pam.
Before you jump into your No Man Pam, not to cut you off, but I was going to say, because I don't want people thinking like my Wicked is me somehow being riddled with like anti-blackness or me being anti-woman. Like I understand how big this film is, and I'm so excited for how many black women are going to be affected by it. I'm tired of the promotion of it all.
It's a lot. Like the people who are like, this is me before seeing Wicked, and this is me afterwards.
Like,
and I'm like, girl, you weren't crying in that movie.
I'm like,
you weren't crying in that movie. Calm down. Like I was not, like I loved it, but I wasn't sobbing. Like I had y'all need to relax.
Y'all are doing a lot for this movie, and I'm going, yes, I will see it, I will enjoy it, but I'm just like, y'all don't, like, we don't have to be doing all of this. Like I was excited when Beyonce released her movie, but y'all didn't see me getting on my, like, crying and, oh my God, Beyonce's the best thing ever. Like, it's just so extra. I think people are just so extra.
To me, it's the difference. I'm not saying that everyone does this, but there's a difference between, like, you come to the movie, you come to this place for magic. You come to the movie.
Yes, bitch, I know what you're doing. You come to this place, you gonna walk up the stairs in the hills. Yes, girl, work, bitch.
But like, like you come to the movie like because like for the like fantastical cinematography and like pretty colors and like fun, and like Ariana Grande in this movie, to me, she often shows, people don't see it, but like she is a comedic actor. Like she really is funny. And like she demonstrates that she is funny in this movie as well too. Like she really is a great actor. People don't want to tell her she is, but she's a great actor. She has a fantastic theater voice. But like you come to this movie to like like get the gimmick of it all, and then there are folks who come to this film because they know like what it means to them, and so like I think sometimes like people come to the film for different reasons, and I think the ones who come for it like because it's pretty and fun, and like and like they come for escapism. I think they come for escapism.
Yes,
are the ones that we see people post about a lot, and like not it's not like and like people like not we don't hear enough from the people who like come to it to be seen by something. Yeah, and that to me it makes a difference. Like when you have the reasons why people go.
I receive that. I get yeah.
Now my No Man Pam is gonna be to Spotify Wrapped, and not because Spotify Wrapped itself, but because it will say a lot about who you people are when you post it, and I just don't like. Sometimes people post a rap, and I'm just like, y'all. It's not the flex you think it is. It's not giving what you think it's giving. Like, I don't need to know that you're a million songs or Taylor Swift. I don't need to know that you're a million songs, are like our insert country artist. Like, not that we should be so held to musical taste in the first place, for sure. And also, like, sometimes y'all, your music choice does say a lot about you. And like, well, if you are okay with that, that is great. That's great, and I love that for you. But I don't always need to see who we listen to. Sometimes I'm like, oh, like, go ahead, put me on something. And other times where I'm like, this is your king? This is who you listen to? Okay. Okay. Say less.
Woo,
say less.
My God. Yes, honey. Very much. That there's a lot going on over there at that Spotify, honey, with between those two men. And I keep going back to that because it's like it's so petty. I don't understand why. I don't know what's going on.
I don't understand, but I will say the new album does slap. It does slap. And
it slaps, you said?
It slaps.
It slaps.
Slaps.
Okay.
It does.
I love that journey for you.
It does slap. Which is interesting. I don't think it's like the album wasn't dropped for the sake of the beef. Yeah. And I feel like one person's just bringing more beef than needs to be for no reason. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it is a bit of an homage to LA, and that is cute. And I'll give it that.
Okay. Well, I like I said, I love that people love that man. I am not a fan. I have reasons. I just don't. I don't.
Very real reasons.
It doesn't. Mm-hmm. It doesn't speak to me. His music doesn't speak to me. His rap doesn't speak to me, and I think that's okay. And it's not for me, and so that's fine. I'm in a place of just like I said. I think I'm oversaturated in media, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend when I can just turn everything off. And take my black ass to bed because I know I need to go to bed.
Same girl.
But yes, God. But anyway, with that being said, we have made it to the end of the show. Send us your thoughts, your feedback. Like I said, we want to hear your black telepathy stories. We want to hear all of the stories that you have to share. Send that down to us. We'd love to share that with the listeners next week. You can also send your thoughts via social media by interacting with our post on Instagram and Blue Sky. And you can also interact with us on TikTok as well. We post all of our stuff there. At Black Fat Femme Pod is our handle on all of the socials, so feel free to find us. You can also go down to the YouTubes where you can see that there were 5,000 of y'all clicked to watch the interview with us and Kid Fury. My God, what a moment. I did not know that y'all would love him as a guest that much, and so we're gonna probably sometime next year say, hey girl, can you come back to the show? Can you be with us? Can we talk more, cash shit with you? So that being said, thank you everybody for the support of the show. All the support you've given us both on YouTube and by listening to the show. My dear Queen Joho, where can her dolls find you, honey?
So if you can't find me, look to the western sky. Has someone tell me lately everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if not there, you can find me, Joho Daniels, across all social medias. My website, JordanDaniels.com. And I will say Joho Daniels also includes Blue Sky. I am now there. I don't know for how long I'll be there for. Right, but I am now there. And you will find me all those places on my website. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, as for me and my household, you can find me down to www.drjohnpaul.com where you can purchase copies of my book. I'm gonna be telling y'all that every day until March 25th because we got to get these pre-sales up, honey. Other than that, I will be winding down because the bitch is tired and she is sick. And so I will probably be under my covers watching TV tomorrow because I am definitely calling out. I am not doing anything until Monday because your girl was warned. All that to be said, we want to say thank you to our wonderful producer, Bay Wang, who continues to help keep this show moving and just doing what it do, honey. We want to also thank everybody over at iHeart for keeping the show up and going as well. We also want to shout out our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because you know every week you do it. You just do it, honey.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Won't he will? Won't he do it? Amen. This has been another show. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. Even with the cold, my God. And remember, we may not be your cup of tea, but drink some water. You probably need it anyway. I love us for real. Bye.
Bye.